What's up, Big 12 Nation? It is Tuesday night during championship week in America. That can mean only one thing. It's time for another edition of your favorite YouTube-centric Big 12 college football themed show. That's right. It's the one, it's the only. It is the biggest 12 with me, your host, Clint Foster. Wherever you are, thanks so much for making us a part of your Tuesday night, where we're going to be talking all things Big 12 championship, a rematch between the Mormons and the Matadors, BYU and Texas Tech. Can the Cougs get the better of Tech in round two, or is it going to be same song, different verse? We'll talk all about it with some great guests. Also, we'll talk a little bit about exciting coaching news, Dope and Gope, of course, and a little bit of bowl projection fun with the Big 12, a biggest 12 spin on it. So we will get to all of that, but first, you know what? I need something from you, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to subscribe to the show. We are so very close. I'm going to keep saying how close we are to 1,000 subscribers. The countdown continues. You can see it down there at the bottom of the screen, running along the bottom there at Big 12 BOCFB. That's at Big 12 BOCFB. Last time I checked, I was 11 away, and we're still 11 away. Okay, so I need 11 of y'all, or 11 of your friends, to subscribe to the show. Help us make this a movement. Y'all, I cannot stress to you enough how important and how helpful it will be to me if we can get to 11 subscribers on the show, right? For starters, I'll start getting paid. Okay, so that's something that, I'd very much like that. That'd be great if you could do that for me. Christmas birthday present for me. I would love that. So please help me make that happen. While you're doing that, also follow me on Twitter at Clint_Foster55 and follow me on my personal YouTube channel at Clint Foster Creations. There's the Twitter account right there. Well, it's underneath the banner. Shabam! Clint_Foster55. All of my stream of consciousness thoughts, such as they were. And also check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and follow Voice of College Football on your social medias. We're all over the place. You can't escape us. They were even posting my, dare I say, hot takes of Big 12 rankings, which I don't know, maybe we'll talk about that tonight too. My end of year Big 12 rankings. Anyway, that's enough podcast business for tonight, I believe. So without further ado, let me bring in my first guest, who is my perma-guest. Dare I say my co-host? I'm willing to call him that. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. It's Brownie from all the way up there in Iowa. I'm of Red Barn Brewing, by the way. Shameless plug. Brownie, how we doing on this Tuesday night?
Drinking some lovely cider donut pop, according to FedEx.
Listen, y'all do not understand if you've never had the pleasure of imbibing Red Barn Brewing, or Barntown. Barntown. It's a Red Barn, and I'm a Tyler Childers fan. I get confused. Okay, Barntown Brewing. They have all of these like deliciously flavored beers. I mean, this is cider donuts. I mean, I've had peanut butter and jelly sandwich on Saturday. We've had Hawaiian punch. Yes, caramel apple, blueberry muffin. For God's sake. Y'all do not know what you're missing. If you're ever in Iowa, or if you know Brownie well enough, and you can, give him a kiss on the cheek, try Barntown Brewing. It's very delicious. They're not even sponsoring me. Maybe they should. Hey, Barntown, if you want to sponsor me, let's make this happen. I'm interested in getting paid for my time. Okay, so Bomber's going to be joining us a little bit later. We will see if we get a Texas Tech guest. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Maybe that's an omen for Saturday. But before we get into any of that, Ronnie, there's a lot of coaching news that me and you were talking about before this show got a rolling. Before we even get into Dope and Cope, let's share some of the breaking news with the folks. Kalani Sitake is staying in Provo. Your thoughts, Brownie?
LDS has a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I think that they are scratching themselves trying to figure out how to spend it. And I think they realized how to spend it.
Yep. And Penn State, can you imagine how horrible that James Franklin decision looks in hindsight, man? They didn't have a plan is the problem.
They didn't have a plan. And I think literally Penn State was just going off of the good old, like, Bear Bryant recruiting thing with his, or even Schellenberger, where he would leave his corncob pipe and be like, "Oh, sorry, left it," even though he had like 500 of them. They just assumed that, "Hi, we're Penn State. You're going to be our coach," and
Yep.
people say yes. And unfortunately, SEC has money, and SEC like schools know what they want, and if number one falls through, number two is not leaving. Like
Yeah.
they very well structured, and it's always wild to me that like I understand firing James Franklin. Like he butchers it in big game situations. He hasn't won any big games or anything like that. But you're telling me that you didn't have a backup plan for this?
Mm-hmm.
Now you might be
Yeah.
going into next year with a shit recruiting class, a shit transfer class, an interim head coach who probably will not be there for next year. So you're not going to have other people commit to you. You're potentially looking at a blue blood like self implode
Oh
overnight.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and all because I mean, hey, like you said, if you're gonna fire your coach in the first third of the season, but you damn well better have a plan. Okay, you better know who you're gonna go get, and you better have a plan to go get them fast. Because you talk about them imploding. I want to share with y'all if you haven't heard. I know this is a Big 12 show, but this is valuable information. Penn State currently, I mean, what? So National Signing Day is what, tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Right? It's tomorrow. Penn State has 5 commits. 5. Everyone else has gone to Virginia Tech. 4 4-stars somehow, and 1 3-star. They have the 129th ranked recruiting class on 247. This is how you implode a program, like you said. I mean, it's just like it's almost like self-imposed sanctions because you didn't have a freaking plan, and you thought that you could outspend this guy's team right here, Bomber. How you doing now that Kentucky is staying in Provo for the long haul?
Oh boy, the last 48 hours have not been fun, I gotta say.
I did
But
not
you've got
lose
crumble
any faith
cookies
in
on
you
your
guys.
side, so now
Yeah.
it's fun.
Say that again. I didn't catch that. What's that?
I said, but you've got crumble cookies on your side, so now it's
Sure.
fun, right?
We've got more than crumble cookies, my friend.
Yeah.
What's the
We've
nutrition
got
brand too,
several.
right?
Yeah, right.
That guy came in. LDS probably backed up their Brinks truck.
Yeah, we've got like 5 or 6 that we could call on. It happens to be that the crumble guy is the most, open for this particular case. But normally they deal with this stuff behind the scenes. We rarely hear about it on the front end. So it just happened to be that this was one that was publicly discussed. And if it wasn't for a loose lips from somebody that sort of let this release into the wild, I'm not sure we ever would have known. And probably Kalani's on his way to Penn State right now. So it's one of those circumstances where you got to look maybe to a higher power on how that news leaked out. But I'm very, very excited about it. So
If there are 2 schools that I would not want to get into a bidding war with, it'd be BYU and Texas Tech.
there are a couple. Yeah, there are a couple. Certainly in the Big 12, they got to be at the top. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Texas Tech, that other team in the Big 12 championship game, they're hanging on to their coach as well, Joey McGuire, a 7-year extension. Boys, is 7 years stupid? Is that too long? What do you think?
I think it's too long.
I think every year you're year to year. The contract might say X, but honestly, let's be perfectly frank. These coaches, if they're successful and they keep winning, they will renegotiate their contracts. And if not, then you'll see every year you will have 1 or 2 very choice openings that will come along, certainly in the SEC and the Big Ten, that would be able to pick and choose what they want to get into. And so you need to stay ahead of this. And if there's a lesson to be learned, and I don't know if TCU deals with this at all, but if there's a lesson to be learned, it's that you can't get behind. You can't let it get to a point where the coach is even willing to take phone calls because you're so far behind. And I think that's what was really shocking in this particular case at BYU is I certainly didn't have a handle on how far upside down the salaries were for the coaches, let alone the head coaches. Come to find out that BYU is behind on both counts by a pretty good margin. And once that, again, made it out to the public sphere, all of a sudden people are standing up left and right to help. So You cannot get behind on these things because your coach will be gone in the middle of the night.
Well, you ask if TCU has to worry about this sort of thing. The answer is no, because Gary
Because you
Patterson.
have Sonny Dykes.
Well, yeah. So Gary Patterson was loyal to a fault. He wanted to continue building what he was building. He wouldn't take phone calls, and nobody's calling Sonny Dykes. So we don't have to worry.
I mean,
Yeah.
as somebody that has a coach that has been on the rumor mill of leaving every single year, like it's interesting because we definitely do not have the budget to compete with everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
Matt Campbell has specifically made salary cuts instead of increases to keep his coordinators around
Right.
from taking other jobs. So, I mean, we're kind of in role reversal here. Like, Matt Campbell's probably one of the least paid Big 12 football coaches again because he took another pay cut so he could pay his coordinators from evacuating. But
Why has he
it's
decided
weird.
to do that? Why hasn't he decided to just move on? What's keeping him around
Culture.
to sort of sustain those things? Is it culture? Okay.
Yep. I think there's a mutual respect between him and our athletic director, Jamie Pollard. I know
Okay.
that they don't always see eye to eye, but Matt Campbell is very much a look at what I can do with the resources that I'm doing it with.
Right.
And realistically, like his dream job still to this day is Ohio State, which until that opens up, I don't think that there's a lot of concern in our fan base that he's going away because his wife has been very vocal throughout the community that their kids are happy there. She is happy there. Like, yeah, it's pretty far away from Ohio where the rest of their family is. And the only way to uproot him is for him to get closer to Ohio. So, like, the Penn
Okay.
State job does slightly scare me in a sense because Penn State can probably pay for him as well as all the coordinators, like tenfold what Iowa
Right.
State could.
Right.
But it's more of does he really want that added pressure? Does he want to uproot basically his wife and go to Penn State? So I think that's realistically the only thing that's holding us with Matt Campbell right now is
Okay.
the culture portion and Ohio State not being open. Because if Ohio State calls, he's gone. I can guarantee that.
My appeal to Matt Campbell is also the title of a Bowling for Soup song. Ohio, come back to Texas. That would be
Okay.
better. Okay. Okay.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
and with that, let's go on to Dope and Cope, our Dope and Cope for this past week. Gentlemen, you know how to play the game. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, Dope and Cope is where we talk about something from the past week of Big 12 football or, just college football in general that we thought was extremely dope. Very cool. We're excited about it. And something either us or someone else is coping over because of how terrible it was. Brownie, would you like to lead us off?
Sure. I think my dope for the week is actually all the Big 12 coaches getting paydays and not leaving. I know it's kind of a breaking news kind of thing that just recently happened, but I'm actually really happy that we were able to keep everybody around instead of having to deal with, BYU lost their head coach. Now they're going to have to backfill because I think that they have the pieces to be a national championship contender down the road. And if their boosters are willing to pay for Sataki to be there, like, sky's the limit. Not so sure about McGuire still. I definitely don't think he's a developmental coach, but obviously he did good enough to bring in a lot of random and spare pieces to make themselves into the college football playoff conversation. So at least that's a positive. I also love that Sonny Dykes and Dave Aranda are going to be sticking around for one more year too. So good job to Baylor and TCU for laying down the fort. I think it's just fun when you have the consistency factor, where now the Big 12 conference can be like, hey, we have all these top tier coaches. They had offers from the SEC, they had offers from the Big 10, and they said no. Like, that just supports what the Big 12 is currently trying to do in, like, that, I hate even saying it, but like the catch up mode, like, we're not the P2 SEC Big 10. But again, this is something that's amazing because now we can say, hey, we have multiple coaches that turn down big time jobs to stay in our conference. So that to me is really, really dope because
Yeah.
you don't get that very often. Loyalty to a fault is very rare in this modern day and age when money and NIL is involved. And honestly, I think that Mike Hope right now is Penn State. Like
Yeah.
they are legitimately falling apart. And I mean, I can play this on repeat every single day of the week, but again, James Franklin, you fire him. You have absolutely zero plan. He gets hired from Virginia Tech in the middle of the season and all of his recruits flip. Like that is insane. You're not going to have much of a recruiting class. You're not going to have much of a transfer class. Now you're potentially looking at an interim head coach if you can't find anybody permanent. And even if you do find somebody permanent, it's not going to be an A-tier coach anymore. Like
Right.
you're going to potentially be taking a G5 up and coming coach that might have the potential. And at Penn State, in 3 years, if he's not winning, he's also out. So now you just set your program back 4 additional years. And I think it's starting to become a thing where blue bloods can no longer just go off of name recognition. Like you have to have something. And I know like Bomber talked about this last week for Morris leaving, right? It's all about the package deal, right?
Yeah.
What you bring to the next school. Well, you're now to the point you're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
You're going to have to implode. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of schools are not going to be able to come back from that. So Penn State is going to have to understand that and give whatever coach that they find a few years, including as much NIL help as they possibly can get to even try to come out of the freaking basement of the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rough stuff. Bummer, you're Dub and Cope.
Well, Cope would be Ole Miss, and this conversation over whether they should get a playoff spot or not. I'm of the mind that because of the calendar, you're forced into this move. But does that mean that the team should be, penalized for that? I personally would like that because it would help BYU, but not from a holistic standpoint. That's not nice, right? That you shouldn't be put in a position as a fan to where you've earned your way through 12 games to get to this point where you can be in a playoff, and then to have your coach, because of this crazy calendar that we have with the early recruiting day, and have to have all those ducks in a row by the end of this week. It's pretty crazy that you're forced into a move like that because of it. So that, from a Cope standpoint, that's where my thoughts were when it came to where we need to overcome going into this next week.
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if the College Football Playoff Committee had any integrity at all, they would keep Ole Miss out of the playoff, because if undefeated Florida State
that's right.
is not the same team without their quarterback.
Yeah. But they won't do that because it's the SEC and it's Ole Miss.
Thank you, Palmer. I said the exact same thing.
I said if they had any integrity, not that they do have any integrity.
Just to go off of what Brownie's just saying, my biggest concern wasn't even about losing Kalani. Kalani's a fantastic coach and certainly a leader man and somebody that I would not want to lose. What's the bigger fear about losing your coach to an upward hire is that he can take everybody with him. He can take all the next recruits that are going to be coming in that he recruited. He takes all of the coaches that he wants to take with him, including some that maybe even aren't on your staff. They would be taken from other places. And that was the bigger fear, is that the dismantling of a program that's worked very hard to get to where it's at, going to be in a championship game this week. And that process could have started tomorrow. And so that was probably the bigger fear from an institutional standpoint, that I had no idea, and I think most people didn't know the pay disparity that both he and his staff were under. Now all those things have been revealed, and now people know how far upside down the staff has been, and they're not going to let that happen again. The AD has had some of its power oversight over the football team taken away. Kalani's been given almost unfettered control of the program, as it should have been all along. I didn't realize that wasn't already the case. And now we're going to be in a position where anything that changes is going to have to go through him, get more money for NIL, all these things. And so I think that's probably the bigger concern going forward is with these A4 schools is you lose your coach. You're not just turning over your coach, you're turning over entire staffs and players. And that's crippling to any program. As you just said, Penn State lost everybody and their recruiting class is nobody. And that's wholly because they fired a coach that, I mean, could we think of a more impulsive action that I can't think of anyone in real life that was more reactionary than the Penn State firing? And they're paying the price now. And I feel bad for Penn State.
Giving Mike Gundy an indefinite contract?
Maybe. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. It's sad though. It shouldn't come to that. There ought to be, God, there's got to be better ways that we can handle those types of things. To say they can take a program and dismantle it as they leave a program, I think is just wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could make coaches start signing non-compete clauses, like what a lot of major corporations do.
Yeah, there might be some controls there. I don't know the law of those well enough to understand if they would be binding.
Oh, they're terrible.
But
not a lot of them get held up in court. But
that's what I thought. I didn't think many of those things really held teeth.
It's only really if like you have like a startup or something like that, and then you make that a multi-million-dollar company, and it was a competitive like market to what you previously left. I think that's really the only time that they get held up. But like non-compete clauses are shit. So
Okay.
Well, I got some breaking news for us, and honestly, it's probably going to be my cope. The college football playoff rankings have Texas at 13, which, you'd say, oh, hey, outside looking in, that's not so bad. But I think they are setting themselves up very clearly right here for if and when 12. BYU loses, then you bump Texas up into 12, and maybe you just keep the ACC. You either keep the ACC out altogether or you make it Miami, right? And F them for this, like F them all the way for this. Like no 3-loss team belongs in any playoff point blank period.
Wasn't Saban's team 9-3 when they got into?
But didn't they wait? Did they win the SEC championship, or were they not in the SEC championship?
I don't think that they were. I think
and they shouldn't have been in. They shouldn't have been in.
Yeah, I can't fully remember what year that was. I'm gonna have to fact check myself.
All I know is it's wrong what they're doing to BYU. And all I can imagine is that this should have started weeks ago. Brett Yormark has been nowheresville in this conversation. And it's really important that I think he's going to use BYU as the stick, the leverage to demand change. Well, whether that's CFP change or if it's change to the conference itself. I don't know what they're going to do to try to make this right in the future, but BYU is not going away anytime soon. So they're going to need to do something next year to stop this from being a one and done conference. And I put this all at Brett Yormark's feet. He was the one that said win it on the field, all that fun stuff, and yet he continues to be slapped around and used like a chew toy. And nobody else is making apologies, and he seems to think he's in some, miraculous purple world that gives them the ability to solve that problem from the outside. I do not see that happening. And if it's not BYU this year, it'll be probably BYU next year. And it's a broken system. And win it on the field could not have been the more dumb mantra than I've ever heard of in my life. I didn't like it at the moment he said it, and it just has gotten worse over time.
Yeah, Dishfish is right too. We've seen this crap play out before. With it's nothing new. Trying to take advantage of the Big 12. My dope and cope were going to both be TCU, but since now I made my cope that Texas ranking, I'll go ahead and make my dope TCU. Hey, Frogs played their best game against Cincinnati since the North Carolina game. It was a complete victory. Josh Hoover had more touchdowns than incompletions. Jeremy Payne and the run game were unstoppable. The defense played well against a solid Cincinnati team. Of course, if I'm going to cope, the cope is, well, where the hell was that all season? Right?
Yeah.
Like, why did we only do that at the first and last game when it didn't matter at all. But that's a whole other conversation that I've complained about plenty on this channel, and I'm sure I will do later. But yes, hey, things are great. The Frogs beat Cincinnati. We won 8 games. Hooray. And yes, Dishfish, I know you want me to talk about it. I did get a replica Alamo Bowl championship ring from a former swim coach at TCU as a thank you for my documentary. So that, yes, I'm not wearing it right now.
There you go. I love it.
Yes,
I love
yes.
it. That's great.
Very fun. And yes, lightning delays are also a cope. We don't a fourth lightning delay in TCU's home season during that Cincinnati game.
Hey, Dishfish, yes. Can I get your ornament?
We didn't get one. So I sat with Dishfish this past weekend, and they were all gone by the time both of us were in there. So, yeah, I know.
Oh, my gosh.
I even went in earlier than I usually do, and they were nowhere to be found. So,
that's some grade A malarkey, because I really wanted that ornament, and I knew Dishfish was going to hook a brother up.
I know. Bomber, we got your dope, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think so. I thought I said, yeah.
It's Tuesday. It's been a long week already.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that. Definitely.
Okay. So let's go ahead and just jump straight into the Big 12 championship. We don't have a Texas Tech guest after all, but I'll go ahead and tell you what they're going to tell you. Hey, Texas Tech already took care of business against BYU. We're a team of destiny this year. Best defense Texas Tech has ever had. Jacob Rodriguez is the best player in the country. We're going to have home field advantage in DFW because none of us want to live in Lubbock. We all live in Fort Worth, right? Bomber, I will say this before you even get started. It is dang hard to beat any team twice. Ask 2022 TCU, okay? Ask pretty much anybody. Can the Cougs pull off the upset and hopefully get the Big 12 2 teams in the playoff? Sell me.
I sure hope so. I mean, if anybody can do it, it's BYU. Look, the game last time was not some big blowout that has been talked about by SEC talking heads for weeks now. It was not that type of separation. You had first quarter that couldn't have gotten off to a slower start, a turnover that was inexplicable, a couple things that the Cougars just have not done this year that really put them in a hole. And then from that point forward, trying to play from behind is very, very difficult, let alone doing it with a what had been a true freshman that had only been, in 7 games at that point. So now we're to the end of the season. And we have a quarterback who has learned on the job very, very well, has adapted to changes as they have come, a defense that will have, and as far as I know, an offense that will have more tools available to it now than they did even a month and a half ago, which is not something you see very often. And a defense that, again, under Jay Hill has been nothing but stellar. I think if anybody can do it, it's BYU. And they have a good opportunity to do that on Saturday. I wish the game was a night game. I hate these morning games because BYU always gets off to a slow start on night games. And I don't know why that is, but under Kalani Sitake, that has been an ongoing problem. And it has to change for them to be competitive on Saturday.
The good news, though, of that is that Texas Tech fans will be as close to BYU sober as they're ever going to be.
Right. Hey.
11 a.m. game. So there is that. Here's another bold prediction I have for this game. This will be the best attended Big 12 championships game since 2022. Maybe the best attended ever. Because like I said, Texas Tech has a ton of fans, a metric butt ton of fans in DFW. BYU travels extremely well.
Yeah,
I can still remember the year that we played y'all, my junior year in Cowboy Stadium. Y'all filled up your half very nicely.
Yeah.
So I fully expect this to be and it's going to look so American, my Lord. Blue on one half, red on the other half.
Yeah,
It's going to look great.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this game. I think BYU fans should be looking forward to it, not with trepidation, but with full-throated aggressiveness and happiness. And it's been many, many years since we've been a conference championship game, and it's long overdue. So I think we're going to put on a pretty good fight on Saturday. And if we can keep – this was the marker all season long. If we can keep it to less than 14 points at halftime, BYU will be in a great position to win by the end of the game. If it's more than 14 points at half, the game will essentially be over because BYU has not shown its ability to get past 14-point deficit all season. And really the only one that put them to the task was Texas Tech, and they weren't able to overcome that. So I would just tell everybody who's watching it should be fun. If you're awake at that time, I would encourage everybody to watch. But the second game jinx is a real thing. I mean, there is stats to say it's very difficult to beat a team twice in one season. This goes across all sports, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you my pick here in a moment, but Brownie, your third-party take on this game as a Big 12 championship attendee last year.
I mean, was it even a championship game last year? Because
it was. I mean, in the same way that our national championship was a national championship. You were there.
It was. Last year's was belt to ass. Like there was no game. There was literally belt to bare skin. I do think that if BYU can fix kind of those mental errors that they had from the previous game that they played, that this is going to be far more competitive. As I said for the actual preview during the season, BYU is a very good clock management team. I feel like if you give BYU the ability to get into the fourth quarter and it be a 3-point game either direction, BYU is going to win that 9 times out of 10. I think that their clock management skills have strangle-held a lot of teams, especially in the fourth quarter, to where comebacks aren't possible. They take 6-minute time possessions, 7-minute time possessions. Like, they literally just chew clock. And they could be potentially down, I don't even care, probably down to like a fourth running back and a third-string quarterback. And they probably still can pull off an 8-minute drive. I just think that is the way that they're going to have to win, is keep it close and then make it downright nasty and dirty in the fourth quarter. And I personally hope that we go into overtime, because I think that would be fun as shit to see. But I realistically think that it's going to be Texas Tech is going to have to blow them out in the first 3 quarters if Texas Tech wants a chance to win. And BYU has to keep it within a 3-point margin either way to have a chance to close it out. So,
and I will add to that. I think because of this trauma that the team has had to go through the past 2.5 days, I think there's every opportunity for that emotion to carry over into the game on Saturday. I think there is a real opportunity for, if the coaches handle it right, to turn that, what you could look at as a lot of negativity, and put it into positive energy going into the game, so that when they do take the early morning kickoff, it will be something that they can sort of seize the day and can exploit going into the game. Whether they're able to do that, Texas Tech is a very good team. We all know that, and it's going to be a tough task. But I really think that if anybody can do it, BYU can.
I also vote that we move this game to 2:30.
That would be better.
Boy, I would wish. I mean, it would be great if we could. We all know why we can't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. We are the last to eat, which means the earliest game of the day. So
yeah.
Hey, but hungry dogs run faster, right? That's what they say.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's what they say.
Texas Tech is going to show up and play. I know that. They're not going to give anything away.
Yeah. Well, and listen, Texas Tech is good. There's no question about that. They proved that. They had their doubters. I was one of them going into the season. They are a very good team. Are they beat a top 15 team twice in the same season on a neutral field good? I don't know that they are. All right. I really think that BYU can and will win this game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be an ugly game, but I think that BYU does enough to pull the upset against Texas Tech. And my final question is this. If that happens, and if BYU does beat Texas Tech in this game, does the playoff committee find a reason to keep Tech out of the playoff then and replace them with Texas and lead to a riot in Lubbock?
I freaking hope not. So
I hope not
bad.
too, but
Like,
do you think they will?
no. If BYU wins, you have to throw in Texas Tech and BYU. The Big 12, Texas Tech has ran over everybody, right? Like
Except for
they're
Arizona State.
yeah, they're winning the way that you expect a team to win. They're not winning the bottom half of the SEC and then lose to all of their good opponents. Like, if you allow Texas to get in, I have a feeling like they're going to get bullshit calls like they used to in the Big 12, and they're going to make it further than what they should. And then they're finally going
Kind
to
of like
play
last
against
year.
yeah. And then they're going to play against a team that can actually close out. Like, Arizona State got screwed out of that game. Like, everybody can agree on that. Texas fans, shut up. But like, Texas does not deserve it. BYU, even with 2 losses, you lost twice to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Like, that is nothing to be ashamed of, especially when Texas Tech is doing dirty.
Yeah,
Like,
frankly, BYU should be in regardless. If we're
Yeah.
actually going to put in the most deserving teams, they should be in regardless. We know that's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
eh,
But the question is, if BYU wins and they have to put them in, are they going to keep Tech out then?
they need to keep Tech in. I personally think that they need to keep Tech in. They need to kick Texas out. Like, a 9-3 team is not deserving enough to be in there. You obviously didn't show up enough. It doesn't matter if you started off even 0-3 and then you went 9-0 in your last 9 games. If you didn't make your championship game, like, what are you doing? Right? Like, Utah is 10-2, and I think Utah has a better resume than freaking Texas does.
Yeah.
And I hate
course.
saying that.
Yeah, of course.
I hate saying that Utah has a better resume, but like, if we're talking about putting into teams that don't deserve it, like, Utah is up there higher than Texas.
I don't even think Texas is an afterthought in this. They might have moved them up to what you said, 13. That's not going to make a difference. If you're talking about procedurally, right now Tech's at 5 or 4. There's no way they drop them 8 ranks when there's only 4 games on Saturday. So there's no way that in any way, shape, or form that's even possible from a function standpoint for Texas Tech to drop out. I think the question will be if BYU somehow, some way makes this a field goal game and it's very, very tight up until the end, is there an opportunity to boot Notre Dame out? Because Notre Dame's taken up an at-large position that doesn't necessarily have to go to Notre Dame. So if BYU makes this game look and feel close, is there any way, shape, or form Sunday night that they do something like that? I think it would be great if they did. I don't have a high probability that's going to happen, but BYU could make it tough on them. They already should make it tough on them. It shouldn't even be questioned where we're at, but it is what it is, and complaining doesn't get us anywhere. So let's just look forward and see where it's at.
Sometimes.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I will confirm.
If only.
I will confirm. Texas Tech is number 4 in the rankings that just came out. You are right, Bomber. So yeah, the likelihood of them dropping 8 spots, not high, but hey,
Plausible.
as Dishfish said, TCU won and dropped 3 spots in the 4-team playoff era. So never underestimate the nation's desire to screw over the Big 12.
And they will continue to try. There's absolutely no doubt that they will continue to try. It just comes down to what is the straw stirring the drink, right? What is the thing that they're paying most attention to? And I do believe there's some PR in there. That's where you get the movement with Texas and the continued complete throw you down a garbage pit with Utah. Utah hasn't done anything but win, and yet they've gone backwards the last 2 weeks. So, it's obvious that they're trying to drive narratives. There was never an opportunity for Texas to get that spot. I don't care what Sarkisian said. It's just a matter of what was the cost going to be. So,
yeah.
Bring back the computers.
Honestly.
Yeah,
at least then you knew what you were trying to do.
That's the point with computers, and everybody needs to keep that in mind, is if they count the computers back in, at least people would understand what they needed to do to coach towards those measurements. And if that means you drop an outer You increase your out of conference scheduling, or you decrease it. If you listen to Sarkisian bitch and moan about their out of conference, he says things like, "Oh, we might just cancel our out of conference next year," like that's some threat that means anything to us. The world does not care, Steve, whether you do that or not. It's a stupid thing to say,
If you
but
play
it shows you how
UTEP
desperate they
twice,
are for losing to Florida. Nobody lost to Florida. Texas lost to Florida, and he can only answer for that himself.
They lost to Florida. They got blown out by Georgia, and they needed overtime to beat Kentucky and Mississippi State.
Yeah,
and they lost to Ohio State too.
And they lost to Ohio State. Yeah,
they're buns.
Yes, they are, as always.
Horns down.
Okay, so quick word from Voice of College Football Bets, and then we'll have a little fun with bowl projections.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
All right, before we move on to bowl projections, Brownie, we do have to bid you adieu. Thank you so much. Or not Brownie, Bomber. Other Brown.
That's okay.
Other one.
Gotta bid you adieu.
Just because
Thank
we
you
share
so
the same
much.
name doesn't mean that you have to confuse us all the time.
Thank you so much.
He's
for
far more
by.
devilishly handsome.
You're more than welcome, and just hit me up when you want me back, Clint. Appreciate it.
Y'all, as soon as you're done here, go check out Big 12 Mafia. You know what to do. They do great stuff over there. See you around, Bomber.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
See you,
Bye-bye.
Bomber.
Peace.
All right. So, one other thing that we need to talk about before we get to episode. There we are. Okay. Before we move on to bowl projections, Brownie, you were breaking this news to me. I mean, this is just, we're breaking news all over the place here. Yes, Business Journal. I'm reading your message to me. Business Journal just posted that Colorado is running a $27 million deficit off player and coach's salary. Holy crap. That is not good. That's not sustainable.
Yep. So the entire thing is that they're currently projected at a $27 million deficit for the current fiscal year, which obviously ends June 2026, like all athletic departments do. But not only that, but they, in addition to those, they need $11.9 million in institutional support and $2.2 million from student fees.
God.
So we're looking at a lot of negative here.
Yeah.
They posted $136.7 million in deficit, where the biggest expense was football at $60.4 million. Compared to what they had in 2025, because I had to look this up, they had a balanced budget at $141 million. So they spiked from 141 to 163.7.
And that's just off of, again, Coach Prime's salary and player salaries?
Prime time and player salary, basically.
Yeah.
They did not specifically say anything about any of the assistant coaching salaries or any assistant salaries or anything like that. It just said that it was based off of Deion Sanders and players. The players made up a $10 million deficit. Prime also made a $10.5 million deficit.
Man. Not great. Not great times in Colorado. Somebody asked earlier, I can't remember who it was, why hasn't or when will Coach Prime be fired? I don't think he's going to get fired. I think
he's just going to retire.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Even though that is an unsustainable number, like if you're Colorado, like he's very much your breadwinner, right? He's the one who gets you eyeballs, even when you are bad. He's the one who gives you the best opportunity to hopefully get good again. But yeah, I think you're more likely to see him just be like, bro, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore physically.
Yeah. I don't think that he should go another year. I think he did what he needed to do. He proved the haters that he could coach at the P4 level. Whether or not it was overly successful is a different story. But I just think that Colorado is down in a downright dirty place. And he did do them a solid. Like, it is a favorable job again. Like, it's not a doormat. Like, you're going into Iowa State with 6 consecutive losing seasons. It's not like you're going into Kansas with 6 consecutive losing seasons. Like, it is, they have proven that they have money. So it's just how they're going to spend it. So whether or not Deion Sanders in Colorado are doing this thing where maybe they hire an assistant coach or like an assistant head coach, and then Deion becomes more of that general manager role, kind of like what Andrew Luck does at Stanford, kind of thing, you know? Like, I think that would probably be the most optimal. But if you're running a like $27 million budget deficit, like, you got to figure something out.
Yeah. And that's a hell of a stat, Clint. CU hasn't won a bowl in 20
Hey,
years.
man, Iowa State, I'm pretty sure, has been there and by like 50-fold. So, yeah. I feel
okay, so let's finish things off with a little bit of bowl projection fun here. So the way we're going to do this is, rather than trying to make, academic projections and bold predictions, we're going to do this like a draft. We're going to have a little fun with it. So basically what we're going to do is there are, I believe, 8 Big 12 tie-in bowl, or at least there's 8 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 9.
Are we going to count BYU as missing the playoffs?
Yeah. So for the sake of this, we'll assume BYU misses the playoffs. 8 bowls to choose from. So we'll each get 4. And I have a randomizer here where we'll figure out who's doing what. And we can draft these bowl games. So we're going to basically act as the bowl commissioner, right? The bowl game representative. And this could be wish casting, Brownie, or it can be what you think is actually going to happen. Basically, if you're the Alamo Bowl, you're the guy in charge of the Alamo Bowl, what Big 12 team or teams are you picking to play in that bowl game, and who against? Yeah? So, here you go. I think for the purposes of this, we can just go ahead and assume that these other former Pac-12 teams will be going to these Pac-12 bowls, the Holiday Bowl, Los Angeles Bowl, Vegas Bowl, and the Sun Bowl, just to make things easy. So we'll be operating off of the list of Alamo Bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl, blessed be its name, Texas Bowl, Liberty Bowl, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, the Independence Bowl, the Armed Forces Bowl, and the First Responder Bowl. And I've got here in parentheses the team or the conference which we should be playing against in a normal circumstance in this bowl. So if you're picking, say, whatever it is, Arizona to the Pop-Tart Bowl, then pick an ACC team that you would either like to see Arizona play in the Pop-Tart Bowl and that you think Arizona will play. Obviously, we're going to be doing a lot of educated guessing here with these other teams because, I'm not considering every single bowl tie-in. We're just kind of having some fun here. So you ready to go, Brownie?
As ready as I will, I think, ever be.
Okay, yeah. I mean, me too. You've probably had more time to set up some research for yourself than I have. So we are going to spin for the Alamo Bowl here. And Alamo Bowl is going to be me. Oh, how appropriate. Okay, so we were talking about this before the show started, this bowl game specifically.
You got 2 ways of doing it.
Yes, you do. And listen, oh my God. We had a Big 12 versus Big 12 matchup last year. I feel like that's going to continue until the 2026 contract or whatever is over with. And bro, I hate this so much, but the more I think about it, especially from an Alamo Bowl perspective, the more likely it's probably going to happen. you
Holy
might
War.
see a BYU Utah Holy War rematch in the Alamo Bowl. Yeah, that's what I'm picking if I'm the Alamo Bowl. I hate it personally. I don't want to see BYU Utah again in a bowl game. I mean, I'm just thinking as a fan of these two teams, how furious I would be if this was happening. But I feel like that's what's going to happen.
I
What do you
mean,
think?
I think that's realistically what you have to do, because the only other thing that you could possibly do is what? Go, because BYU played Arizona. Did Utah play Arizona this year?
I think so.
Because
I
that would be
think
the
they
only
lost.
other
Yeah.
thing.
No, they lost to Arizona State. Who did they lose to? I can't remember. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Well, now, yeah, I'm looking it up right now. They did not play Utah, so the only one that you would have would be Utah versus Arizona for those.
Mhm.
Arizona has already played Houston. I'm pretty sure Houston. I mean, you could probably put Houston versus either BYU or Utah, but honestly, like, you already have the Pac-12 and Big 12 ties. Like, you have to pick the Holy War, and it's
Yeah.
whether or not those ads are going to say yes or no.
Yeah, that's enough. Mark Harlan may just say no out of spite.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
I mean, you're not wrong. If I was the Alamo Bowl, that's who I would pick.
yeah, it's not gonna. I mean, you're gonna get more eyeballs and more intrigue with that game than you ever would with Utah, Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Or BYU, Arizona State, even if you're gonna get crazy with it.
Yeah.
All right. So you know what? Let's just go vice versa on this one. You are the reigning Pop-Tart Bowl champion Iowa State fan after all. So why don't you have the pleasure of picking the Pop-Tart Bowl's representative?
Oh man. Let's see here. For at least for me, for the Pop-Tart Bowl, I personally would probably pick Houston.
Okay.
They're
How
gonna
come?
be they're gonna be a little bit closer. I know that their fan base doesn't travel very well, but I feel like that Houston would travel a little bit better to Florida than Arizona. And then for the let's see here.
ACC team. So we're looking at a highly ranked ACC team, maybe a Duke or Virginia, maybe Georgia Tech, maybe Miami if they're not in the playoff. A lot of potential options.
So not knowing the full cycle of level of ACCs, I think my first pick would actually be a Georgia Tech. They are far closer. They have proven that they can win and play. They're also a 9-3 team. I do believe that both of them slightly overperformed where everybody thought that they would be. So I think that that would be, at least like in my mind, a good matchup.
Okay.
If I was to pick a backup, I think it would have to be Virginia as a backup, at least for the ACC. And yeah, I think that that would be the most optimal, just because I think that Arizona is probably going to be holding on to get a slightly closer bowl game.
Yeah.
Even though the freaking toaster is amazing. So
I mean, I don't know why anyone would ever not want to be in the Pop-Tart Bowl. It's
there are crazy people out there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see here. Yeah, this website that I'm looking at doesn't really have them in order. It has them in alphabetical order. But just looking at the bowls, I feel like of the ACC's bowl tie-ins, that the Pop-Tart Bowl would be, well, they also have the Gator Bowl. I don't know if Pop-Tart Bowl or Gator Bowl or Sun Bowl are more prestigious.
So Gator, I'm showing, is higher.
Yeah, so actually Georgia Tech's probably more likely than a Virginia.
Yeah, the current projection is SMU BYU, which I think would be an absolute freaking travesty to everybody.
Well, SMU Houston.
SMU Houston would be actually hilarious, though.
Yeah.
I just feel like if Georgia Tech is there, like, you need to take Georgia Tech.
Sure. Yeah. And hey, Haynes King is an East Texas boy, so there's a little bit of a storyline there for you.
There you go.
Okay, Texas Bowl. Oh man, I would love so much to wishcast TCU into this game. And there is the reality that TCU is going to travel well to Houston, a lot better than we would to any other game. But I don't know, as the Texas Bowl, if you can justify passing on Arizona.
Pick me.
Yeah, what do you think, Brownie?
I would like to use an override to pick the Texas Bowl, please.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Pick the Texas
Bring me back the telephone trophy.
Bowl. Okay.
Iowa State versus Missouri in the Texas Bowl.
Why not in the Liberty Bowl, though? Why not in the Liberty
Because
Bowl?
everybody hates the Liberty Bowl. And Jamie Pollard already said that we're not going. So slate that in. Iowa State versus Mizzou in the Texas Bowl for the telephone trophy. And it's coming back to Ames.
I'll allow it.
Okay. I'll let you pick the Liberty Bowl, though.
Okay. Oh God, where is Arizona going? Like, because Liberty Bowl does not feel right for them, but the Rate Bowl also feels like it'd be such a bummer with them.
I feel like this one might be the sneak where they might get into the Holiday Bowl.
That could happen. Yeah, that could happen. Because I just feel like if you're the Liberty Bowl and you're picking Arizona or Arizona State, they're not going to travel there.
No.
Right?
No. You're almost going to have to go like almost Cincinnati with the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah.
Because I don't think TCU is going to travel there either.
No, we have not historically. But listen, I can't have TCU in the Armed Forces Bowl. I literally can't. So something's got to give here. Like, okay. I think. Well, okay. We're going to collaborate on the rest of these because we got to put our heads together. I'm changing the rules. I pray I don't alter them any further. Okay. I feel like Independence Bowl has to be one of these Arizona schools actually probably has to be in the Independence Bowl.
Yeah. And I think Arizona State's probably going to get the Independence Bowl.
Yeah, because Arizona is better than that. So the question here is,
so
does Arizona play in the Rate Bowl?
See, I still think that Arizona is going to make the Holiday Bowl.
So then what happens to all these guys?
So I think that USC is more than likely going to get LA. So Holiday in LA is going to be USC, Arizona. I think you could probably intermix them, but I think that those two teams are for sure gone. I just think that USC is going to be traveling a little bit better there. And then I think for the Independents, you're actually going to see them pick, like, I honestly can see them picking another SEC, or not SEC, another Pac-12 team for the Independents, because what's the tie-in for that one? Or is it just at large for Independents?
I think it's at large if it's not.
Or is it Mountain West?
No, it's at large, because I saw one of the I think one of the projections that I saw had the Independence Bowl with maybe
Utah State and Kennesaw State,
or yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, like so the matchup is supposed to be Big 12, Pac-12 with then at large. I feel like that one could be ASU versus Washington.
Okay.
Or I guess who would have the biggest animosity between the Pac-12 schools and the Arizona schools?
Hold on. I need to look at this. Just a friggin' second. Okay. As long as we're wish casting, here's what we're doing. Okay. I'm moving Iowa State and Missouri to the Liberty Bowl because, yeah, enjoy. It's closer to y'all. Okay. It just feels right because I want TCU in the Texas Bowl against Tennessee. Okay. Who tried to steal Josh Hoover away and will probably get waxed. But TCU, Tennessee in the Texas Bowl. Just because, I mean, I do think it's very likely we end up in the Rate Bowl. And then we can put Zona in the Rate Bowl. Yeah.
Who the hell did they even have?
Zona against Northwestern, how about?
Yeah. I'm looking what The Rate Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah,
You got a Wildcat Bowl there. Arizona against Northwestern.
that's fine. I still think that you got to draw Washington or Cal over to the Independence Bowl.
What about? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's have them play. Let's have them play Cal, just because the woke agenda is always hilarious and
Probably.
Yeah.
And then for shits and giggles, put Kansas State in the Armed Forces Bowl so they can lose to another military school.
Love it. Kansas State Army, great.
And then Cincinnati would somehow biff going like 7-0 down to 7-5.
Yeah, yep. And Cincinnati's going to play. Who are they going to play in the first round bowl?
SMU for shits and giggles.
Oh, I mean, SMU would never fall that far. They would. Hold on. Who's supposed to play in that game? It's supposed to be AAC or. I feel like an ACC team has never played there. I feel like it's always.
See, these are all completely out of whack because the first responder, they actually show Texas State and Missouri State.
Yeah, I just like technically we have a tie-in because I know West Virginia played there like 2 years ago. I think it was.
They also say that the Military Bowl is now ACC and American. Did we lose that one? No, it's still showing up.
No, we never had the Military Bowl.
Oh,
It was always Armed Forces. I thought. I don't know who the hell's Cincy playing. American Conference standings.
ACC. It'd be Virginia. Well, I don't think Virginia would make it that low.
Yeah.
It'd be Virginia, SMU, Miami, which probably won't. Pitt?
UTSA.
No, give me Pitt. Since
It would never be. I mean, I would love that, but they wouldn't be that low. But okay.
Yeah, you're right. They're 8-4. It'd be Duke, Cal, Clemson, NC State.
Imagine going from playing in the ACC championship to being in the First Responder Bowl. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I'd be okay with this lineup.
As long as I just get my freaking telephone trophy back.
Yeah, if TCU was playing Tennessee, I'd find a way to go to that game. Heck yeah. And if
I need the Texas Bowl for the telephone trophy, and I probably will not go, but I would definitely try my damnedest to get out of Christmas.
Yeah. Like, hey, y'all don't need me here, do you? Y'all need anything?
Hey, you guys are okay if I just spend the holidays down in Texas, right?
Hey,
down in Houston.
Come on down. Okay, so that does it. Another, dare I say, stellar episode of Biggest 12 in the books. Brownie, tell the people where they can find you.
They can find me on Twitter, I guess X, Blue Sky at WRNL Brownie. Also follow the main channel, Wide Right Natty Light, and check out our Discord because there is a lot of things going on in there. All sorts of sports talk, as well as all the stuff that's been hitting the fan right now, and laughing at Penn State. So,
as we love to do. Hey, karma's gonna get you eventually, and it did. Okay, subscribe to the show, please. At Big 12 VOCFP, there it is, right there at the bottom of the screen. Hey, if you're feeling very charitable, subscribe to TCU VOCFP as well. That's where I do my post-game shows. I don't have a post-game bowl game show whenever that happens. Also, follow me on Twitter at Clint_Foster55. Personal YouTube channel at Clint Foster Creations. Follow Voice of College Football. Where you go for your socials. And check us out where you get your podcasts. Check out thevoiceofcollegefootball.com. Do all of the things, okay? And until next week, I love you. I hope your team wins. And go Big 12. See y'all around, folks.